Welcome back, everybody. Hey, Dan here, back for another video. And I know it's been a super long time since I made a video, and obviously I'm outside here and not inside. So I'm going to put a timestamp right now in the video. This video is actually automotive related, real car related. So if you're here for that, go to the timestamp that's on the screen right now. You can skip ahead. But first, what I want to do for my current subscribers, the people who've been with me all along, I want to kind of give you an update and let you know what's going on, because obviously it's been a hot minute since I've uploaded a video for sim racing. And I'm going to be dead honest with you, it's been a very long time since I've sim raced at all. So let me just give you a quick little backstory and then we'll get to the actual main video here. But backstory for my current subscribers, because there's like 16,000 of you and you deserve to know what the deal is. Long story short, I'll go into detail in a second, but long story short, I just do not sim race anymore. You know, in life you go through many hobbies. You go through many different things. I just turned 40 this year, or this past year, so in December. So, you know, I've had a lot of different hobbies. Sim racing was one of those hobbies. I actually managed to stay in sim racing for a long time, but at the end of the day, I just kind of got bored with it. That happens, you know, and in my life, there's been one constant that has never changed, partially why I got into sim racing. And sorry if you hear the cars in the background, guys, but I'm not far from a major street. But anyways, car stuff has been a constant that I have always been into. I am a true driving enthusiast. I love driving any and all vehicles. As you can see, I've been through loads and loads of different little small hot hatches like this, Mustangs, big horsepower cars, drag cars. If you name it, I've had it. I got into sim racing when I did because that was a time in my life where I was changing careers. Well, I had to change careers because when the economy was tanking, and I couldn't afford to, or didn't have the time, because I had to go back to school to do fun stuff like real cars. So that's how I got into sim racing. It was a way to continue my driving enthusiast lifestyle at a much cheaper and easier and a more affordable way. Now, lucky for me, while I was doing that, while I was doing that, I ended up getting lucky, I guess, on YouTube, and I was able to, review all kind of really great, crazy products, and grew a huge family of people that liked watching my stuff, and that was really great. But the long and the short of it is, the reason why I haven't made any videos in a while is just because I got out of sim racing. I mean, I've tried several times over the last couple of years to get back into it, but it's just not the same. It's not something I'm really enjoying to do that much anymore. So I just haven't, and I honestly don't see myself getting back into sim racing anytime soon, or if ever. Fortunately for me, I've gotten back to a point in my life where I can afford the fun real cars and tinkering. I had the Mini Cooper, I had a Mustang before that, I had a GTI, now I've got this Fiesta ST, which is a phenomenal car, probably one of the best, if not the best vehicles I've ever had. And I just enjoy, instead of sitting in a dark room making videos inside, I'd rather be out driving or tinkering on this car. So that's where we're at with that. I really appreciate it. I love all of you for being subscribed so long. I don't think that there'll be much, if any, more sim racing content for ever, if I'm honest. I just, getting bored with it, and then on top of that, trying to make videos and stuff, it just became a job where stuff like this, being around cars, it never really has ever felt, since I was old enough to just grab a steering wheel, it's never felt like a job to me. It's just something I love doing. So that's just kind of a background story. I hope that you'll remain a subscriber and continue with me and see what we've got in store. I do have a lot of automotive stuff coming up that's going to be really fun. I'm going to boot up the channel. It's going to be more regularly scheduled. I'm not going to go crazy, because I'm just going to do things that I think are fun. So I'm not trying to carry this strict uploading schedule or anything like that. I am just gonna have some fun and bring you guys along with me. So that being said, that's where we're at. I hope that you'll stay. If not, I certainly understand why you may not want to stick around for continuous coverage on real automotive stuff if you don't like that. But anyways, that's where we're at. That's where we're at with that. I hope you guys do understand that. So at this point now, I'm going to transition over to what this video is actually about. And this is roughly where the timestamp from the beginning will be. And so I'm going to get off the sim racing stuff and onto the automotive stuff. So why am I standing out here with my car? So as I said a few minutes ago, I have always been a very enriched in driving, and I am a true driving enthusiast to a point. Up until very recently, the only thing I ever did was drive the car. I've always been very fortunate to have friends that were, a shout out to Craig with Raw Power and Performance. He has a diesel and a gasoline performance shop now. I've always had friends that have helped me do things to my vehicles. And so I've never really had to get down dirty and learn. I was the guy that honestly was always standing in the back corner smoking cigarettes, watching Craig or whoever work on my cars. And then once we got older and we had families, and then he opened his own shop and stuff, I don't like freebies and stuff. So, you know, for the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, anything I did with cars, I would take to professional shops and pay them to do it. I am a person that has to change cars. I can't leave them stock, as you can see with this. So I've always taken it to somewhere, but I wanted to make this video, and I'm gonna make future videos following up on this in hopes to help people that were like me, that was afraid. Because, you know, my job is I sit at a desk and I type on a computer and I use a keyboard, and I'm just withering away into a fat man that just works behind a computer. You know, I am by no means a mechanic, and I had no mechanical skill whatsoever, and had never really done anything as simple as a oil change. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are really want to tinker with their cars, especially something like this. I'm in a Facebook group for these Fiestas, and I know there's a ton of people in that group that would love to tinker with their cars, but they're afraid to, because they were like me only a few years ago, afraid to do it. But this series of videos or whatever that I'm going to be putting out, it's in hopes to help those people understand that you do not have to be a mechanic. You do not have to have a crazy mechanical skill or this gigantic shop or lifts or thousands and thousands of dollars worth of tools to actually work on your own car. So when I bought this car, I decided the first day I bought it, it was bone stock. It was a completely stock car. I've had it 6 months or so. And I decided anything that happened to this car, I was going to do myself. I made that a mandatory. There's no other option for me. It was going to be my hands doing it with minimal help or no help at all. And so far I have kept that up. And so what I have realized in the last few months doing stuff to this car is it's really not that hard. And God's honest truth, with a driveway, even a gravel driveway, whatever, with a driveway, a relatively simple and basic set of tools, a floor jack and some jack stands, you can almost do anything you could ever dream possible on a car yourself. You can do it. And I've already done quite a bit to this car. I kind of wish I would have started this earlier. I wish I would have showcased some of the things I've already done, because I've done small things and big things. I've replaced the suspension in this car. I've completely overhauled the brakes. I've done some mechanical stuff. I've installed a stiffer rear motor mount. I've done quite a bit of things to this car. Obviously, I've changed out the wheels and tires that I would have never done or even considered doing only a few years ago. But this day and age, with the help of YouTube, and with some very basic tools, you can, I promise you, you can do anything yourself, and I think that you should. There are many reasons why you should do your own work. Even something as simple as an oil change all the way up to some very big mechanical stuff. You really should do it yourself, because the emotion you get of feeling the job, even if you have issues when you get done, and knowing that you did it yourself and that no one else was in and out of your car getting the interior dirty or not bolting bolts up to spec or whatever it may be, you doing it yourself, you know is going to be done properly as long as you take your time. And that's what I've been doing, and I've actually really grown to, I've learned so much in the last couple of months, and I want to share that with people. So unfortunately, there are some things I've already done that I can't showcase. Again, I wish I would have started it sooner, but I didn't. But from here on out, everything I do, from very small things to big things to this car that I do myself, it's not going to be tutorials, because I am not a mechanic, so I am not, I'm not in the position to try to teach somebody how to do it, but more so I'm going to document the process of what I do. And yeah, and as I'm documenting that process, I will show you any, you know, if I have troubles, you'll see how I troubleshoot it, how I fix it. What tools, is it a YouTube video that I'm using to learn how to do it? What am I using? Am I finding information on forums? I'm going to try to document that process the best I can to show you that a simple fat man like myself that has no mechanical experience, or anybody else in a similar position to me, you can do your own work on your own car. And not only can you, but you should. So I'm going to run through a couple things I've got coming up. It's freezing today, so I'm not going to do it. I'm still waiting for some parts. The biggest job I've got coming up is to address this car's biggest problem, which is cooling. From the factory, it has terrible cooling. So I've got a Montoon triple pass Again, sorry if you can hear all those cars, they're super loud up there, the main road's right there. I've got a Montoon triple pass radiator that I'm putting in that'll replace the very underwhelming and underperforming factory radiator. I've got a 180 degree thermostat I'm gonna be replacing, which sounds simple, but it's actually kind of difficult in this car. I've got a new reservoir tank, the overflow tank for the cooling, because the stock plastic one is known to leak, so I got a pretty robust one. And that's gonna be a project that I kind of do all together, but it's gonna be over multiple days, maybe over multiple weekends. So I'm gonna showcase that, hopefully, and hopefully you guys will get to see that, and I'm gonna do the best I can. Film wise, I'm not gonna try to do the most professional thing. It's just gonna be the easiest way for me to showcase this stuff. I've got some emblems in the back that I'm gonna swap out and move around to make it look more like the overseas versions of the Fiestas instead of this one. I don't really like the way they do it with the US versions, so I'm gonna swap it over. I'm trying to think of what else. There are other things I'm gonna be doing, but anyways, this video I'm sure has run long enough. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to say is that I want to, one of the many videos I'll probably start showcasing, or series that I'll probably start showcasing here, is showing you or documenting my process of doing things that I literally would not even have dreamed of doing myself not that long ago, and showing you that you can do it too. And then hopefully, if my videos are somewhat helpful for other people as far as doing these installs, that's great too. But just keep in mind, I'm not a mechanic, so the terminology I don't really know as well as a mechanic would, and I may not do it in the exact correct order, but the goal is to get it done, get it working, get it properly put together and 100% ready to go, so that other people can see that you can do it too. Because man, I'm not going to go through all the many reasons why you should not let mechanics work on your car unless you really, really know them, because nobody is going to care about your car as much as you do, and that's just the long and the short of it. So I'm going to end this one here, guys. Thanks so much for listening to my ranting here, or my talking. And yeah, so hopefully here in the next couple of weekends, I'm going to start these little projects, and I'm going to carry you with me, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. And here I am, a couple years later. Hope you're glad you got to see me. I'm glad I got to talk to you guys. I really do miss talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video. We'll see you later.